Hello everyone, me again with another update. I actually did want to start the video with doing another go at some of the tags that I did in the first video, because in fact one of them it might have been the Know You Needleworker one. The person who left the comment just put the comment as get to know you or get to know me. I can't remember which it was they worded it as, but they asked if I could redo the tags because where I couldn't be heard properly in the first video, which makes sense because I was using the internal microphone for that, and it's not as if I'm sitting right over the laptop all the time. And it also has a tinny sound, so yeah, hence the headset. I learnt from that one. But yeah, I was thinking of redoing them again, however I randomly lost my internet connection. It's not come back yet. I might have to go and reset the router after doing this video. But yeah, so instead I'm just going to get on with a couple of things I was going to talk about. First thing is this. Made of wood, got a nice decoration on it. You get 3 different variations. Blonde-haired woman with blue clothes, and I can't remember what the other one is. I'm not turning the box over because it would be spoiling what it is. But yeah, this thing's got pins at the top, a hole at the top, and a hole at the bottom. That like use wool or whatever else, and you wrap it around the pegs once, wrap it around the pegs twice, and then the first lot you wrap around, you have to put over the second lot and over the pegs, and eventually it'll come down the tube. So yeah, and it creates. Well, I've tied the ends together to give it a round shape, but if I hadn't, you get these. It creates tubes. And there's the other one. This is the remainder of what came with that little wooden object. I actually, because that's all I had that remained, I had to resort to using my fingers. It was actually a few days ago while we were on the community garden members and I were on a trip to the garden. It was from the next town over. And my resorted method, I can't use multiple fingers. Normally it'd be like 2+ digits of your hand, be it left or right. I can't do that because I don't have not necessarily dexterity, but as you can see, my those fingers, they move individually, right? Seen these ones? It's like Cousin It. Heck, they even bend backwards when I try and straighten them. Because of that, I only use my index finger. Which results... I think this is the first one I made. I've actually used this one as a headband a couple of times. That's why it's such a horrible state. But when you use just one finger, you get rope-like effect. Well, what would be for 4 fingers or 4 pegs, you get a chain. 1 finger, you get like a cord-like rope. And because I was actually trying to do, I'd got one of my sort of rolled bobbins of floss. This is embroidery floss, floss that I'd use for cross-stitch. And I thought, hey, I can do the whole thing. Nope. It must have had a knot in it at one point, hence why it's only the length it is, because I had to cut it. So I went to try again. I don't know where to put that other bit, but I went to try again using the same bobbin, but then it only resulted in a wee teeny weeny bit, because apparently there was another cut in it. So I was like, nah, I'll put that bobbin aside. Because I had about 2 or 3 of them, let's use a different one. And excuse me, sorry. Yes, it resulted in a bigger chain. Awkward to see because of the way I've got it. Actually, if I hold it like that, and hold them like that. I might have to actually fold this over twice. There you go. As you can see, this one chain that's folded over once is slightly longer than this one that's folded over twice. But still, it wasn't all that big. If anything, that might be a couple of meters. You know, about, I don't know, 5-6 meters. Believe it or not, it doesn't look it. But because of like the way it's done, the tightly packed chain, it is actually 5 or 6 meters. Believe it or not. So I thought, okay, I'll leave those colours alone, use them for cross stitch. I have other ones, which I'm sure did not have any single cuts in them, and I was correct. This one is what I like to call Taste the Rainbow. I'm not going to follow up with a certain remark that's made afterwards, you know, censorship and stuff. Some people don't like the language. But this one I like to call Taste the Rainbow. It starts there, goes round, and round, and even more. Keeps going until you get to the end. And again, it may not look like much because of, you know, what it is, but it is actually one full skein of 8 meters. That whole thing is 8 meters. That took me about half a day to a day to basically put a loop in one end of it and then keep raveling it around my finger, put in a bit over, wrap another bit around my finger, put the loop over, you know, tighten up every now and then so it, you know, go to the sort of chain like effect, well, rope effect. But yeah, I spent most of a day turning 8 meters of floss into that. That is one of the other things I do besides cross stitch. I can also do weaving, but I've not done that in years. So that's French knitting, otherwise known as, you know, standard finger knitting, single finger knitting, cross stitch, as I've shown in previous videos. And as I said, there's weaving in the past, but I don't have any examples of that because we did that on a sort of summer camp. So I don't have any of that. Oh, and speaking of the French knitting, that's what came with that. Apparently, the back of the box lists that as a needle. I don't know how they mentioned it as a needle. It's got blunt ends. If it had sharp, you know, not, yeah, some needles come with blunt ends, but this one could at least have done with one sharp end. Because you can't actually, you're supposed to use it to help you get the bottom thing over the top. And as I learned from experience, it just keeps pushing, you know, doesn't matter which one it grabs onto, if any, but it just keeps pushing your yarn in between the pins as opposed to lets you lift them over the pins. Instead, it'll probably be awkward to see, but there's actually scratches around each pin where the paint's been rubbed off. And that's because I substituted that so-called wooden needle for this. Does the job. Not exactly the job it's intended on used for, but it does the job. Screwdrivers, makeshift needles. So much more better than wooden needles, apparently. Yeah. I took at one point, it was because where I went on that trip with the community garden folk that, because normally when it comes to nice day and we're at the community garden, I maybe do a bit of cross stitch, but I couldn't be bothered taking any of that with us. And at the time I wasn't sure, was that the day we were going for a little visit to another garden, or was it not? So instead, I just took a bobbin of embroidery floss with me. That was the pink one. Started wrapping it around my finger. And there you go. Because I want to take the dough with me. Okay, that's what it actually is. But I want to take this with me. And then that's when I was reminded I don't have any wool left for it. So, yeah. Oh, and here's the instructions. Nice pictures. Yeah, you basically wrap it around once and then you wrap it around twice. The other thing was, in the previous video, I actually asked a question. Unfortunately, I don't have any responses to that, so I had to make the decision myself. And this is a second copy I printed off for, using. I don't mark on them or anything, but it's just easier than constantly grabbing the green folder and taking it, pages with some Polly Pockets. But it was this infamous picture here. Sleeves by EternalFluffy, drawn in 2008. If I can find the page map. And I can show this because I did the pattern. I know lots of people say about they're not showing the pattern, but if it's just brief, I don't see the problem. It doesn't give people a chance to copy it or anything unless they're gonna download your video and then pause it just to see each individual square. Because 9 times out of 10 you can't see what people are holding up properly anyway. Even if they're just holding up the packaging that's just got a cover picture. A lot of the time you can't see that. You might see the image, but you can't see it specifically. And for the most part, a lot of patterns come with just general symbols. You just got all these. I suppose they're supposed to be black. They kind of look purple on me. He's got all these black shapes. Good luck seeing that. Especially on things that got umpteen amount of, 10 square blocks per page. As I said previously, I believe I mentioned this, the smallest I can see is 60. 6, 10 blocks per page. Any smaller than that, I can't see it. And you'll find a lot of the time, with actual patterns you buy, or just get in a book or whatever, they're about 60, maybe less. And again, primarily just shapes. It's just symbols. Good luck seeing it. And that's what the entire picture's going to look like. It looks kind of massive, considering how it's printed off. It's gone over 4 pages, but it's not. Instead, it's going to fit on there. It'll be down there and across there. The pattern is 10 high by 7 point whatever wide. Well, the whole. If you were to combine all the boxes and all 4 pages, it would be. But obviously, it's not going to be that because it's not as if the picture itself covers the entire thing. It's just in the center, so to speak. But yeah, I measured this with my ruler. It's 8 across and 12 high. No, sorry, 11 high. So yeah, that'll be big enough. It's like 5 blocks from the top and bottom, plus a few from the sides. But yeah, that's big enough. And yes, that's what I decided on using. Instead of either the cream or white fabric, I'm going to use plastic. And I decided that for a couple of reasons. One, because I haven't used it in ages. Make a nice change. And 2, this entire picture has black squares outlining it. And it's only it's only squares. There's no quarter stitches, which I fucking hate anyway. But there's no fractional stitches in general. So your quarter stitch, 3/4 stitch, that sort of thing. There's no back stitch, which depending on how the lines are going for back stitch, you can do on 14 count plastic. Should they happen to maybe go through, partially through a square at the edges, then no, you can't. It has to be, horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. Perfectly horizontal, horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. So, but it's just squares. You know, nothing but squares to go on there. So I can use this. That, in that sense, hopefully the next video, as well as those tags that I'm wanting to redo, should actually have progress on this. So you should actually see some red or whatever on this somewhere. Because I'm thinking of actually doing the outline of the image first. For the most part, you know, I could do it page by page, but I'm thinking of just generally doing as much of the outline of the image as I can. And that way I'll know, right, yeah, it definitely fits. And it's not as bad taking a bunch of black squares out, especially the way I cross-stitch. I suppose people call it blasphemy, but I don't care, it's how I learned to cross-stitch. If you were to look at it close up, then you'd understand what I mean. But yeah, that's what I intend on doing. That's all I wanted to really mention. I'm going to have to go and see if I can get in it, you know, need to see if the router needs checked. I'll have to check the skybox. If it's only got one light on it, it means yes, I need to restart the router. So, yeah. Just, I'll see you later, hopefully, or whatever. Thank you once again for putting up with me.